There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. What a week it's been. I think it's probably time to regroup on this Feelgood Friday. Let's attempt to have a Feelgood Friday after a very challenging and obviously tragic week here in Portugal. I believe at the moment, the fire situation, because of the blessed rain that came last night, we're down to a couple of fires around the country. Just going to take a quick look at fogos.pt now. Now, of course, you'll have this, won't you? Available on your web browser. Yeah, much better picture over there on fogos.pt. However, the blaze over near Vezio, where we were last weekend over that way, is still raging with over 700 fire operatives and over 200 vehicles over there. Thankfully, not for those folks there who are fighting that front, but elsewhere in the country, I think largely because of the rainy conditions last night, things have calmed. So thank goodness for that. We still need to, of course, to support people who've been affected by the fires and the bomberos. So great work. This is an example of such good support for the bomberos. Me and Mrs. M popped in to see how we could help at San Martino de Porto. We're actually having a chat with the commander. The commander's giving us a call today to see what help they need specifically. But I think generally speaking, and we took similar supplies over to San Martino de Porto station yesterday. This is what Bill sent in. Bill and Marcus, their village, put this together for Figueira dos Vinhos Bombeiros. And it's water, cereal bars. It caused, I think we cleared out the cereal bar section in the Intermarché yesterday. Not sure about juice. I mean, juice seems like a good idea, but certainly water. They've got fruit juice there as well. Anything, I'm sure, to give the firefighters a bit of energy on the front line right there. That's a great selection of goods to take to your local Bomberos station. And then for the people who've been affected, now we're hearing about GoFundMe's for people who've lost everything that they've been here, perhaps from our expat foreigner immigrant community, been in Portugal for a while, and in the blaze lost everything that they've owned. So I know that Mama Bear, who's here this morning, is preparing a list of safe places to go for future reference. And it's one of those lists we hope we'll never have to use, of course, but it's good to be prepared at the same time as well. So well done, Mama Bear, over at Sharing Care, which, of course, we talked about when we last spoke to M. Sharing Care on Facebook, that's the support network, the emotional support network, I guess we could call it, right, M? Creative Roots Portugal is M on the screen and with us this morning. A list is being created. I don't know if you want to say more about that, M, but people have been very kindly offering, including you, offering places for people to go should they have nowhere else to go in an emergency. One of those, I suppose, no questions asked situations where you don't want to be ringing around when it's an emergency. You just need to know you've fixed up a place to go should there be a challenge of that kind. And we were doing that. I had a bit of a telephone tree. Well, not a telephone tree exactly, but we created a little bit of a mini network, just sent a few messages out to people. Look, if you need to turn up, just turn up. Don't be worried about that. And I think that's quite reassuring, isn't it, to be spreading those sort of messages around when we face a challenge of this kind in the country. But thankfully, that is, for the most part and for most people, is calming down. And as I say, the bomberos still need support, and those people who've been affected and lost their homes or possessions or been displaced in some way, they will continue to need our help as it goes off the media agenda, which inevitably moves on to the next drama and tragedy. Right. So let's see what we can do along those lines. Keep that bubbling in the background. and regroup today on this Feel Good Friday, the 20th of September, 2024. Tudo bem? Como estás? How are you doing? A good time to check in as well. James is asking the same question. Bom dia, campos. Feliz sexta a todos. Put in a sex in sexta-feira. And he's got his new Old Guy in Europe video up. That's up and ready for you to peruse. Perhaps you could go from here to there at 10 o'clock this morning as we head towards the weekend and have a bon fin semana. What are you up to this weekend? There's a few themes that I would like to look at this morning. We may have Coach Turner popping in because, of course, this week's God Squad Tip of the Day theme was how to train when you're coming to Portugal. It's a triathlon, actually. Talking of events, we'll have a look at a few events as well coming up this weekend. And it's the triathlon in San Martinho de Porto. A little digression now because this is quite a wide arc as I try and remember a few things that happened to do with triathlons and Expats Portugal last night. The virtual tour of Portugal's wine regions was super, in the company of Diego Ventura. Took us through his favorite and what he considered to be the best wine producing regions of Portugal. The most notable, I guess, as well, with no disrespect to the others that he wasn't able to or chose not to include. However, if you go visit him at World of Wines in Porto, and there's an opportunity to do so in the company of some Expats Portugal community members as well on the 25th of October, more about that at expatsportugal.com. You can meet Diego. I'd love to do that. I'm not sure what our diary is looking like then. But last night we sat back and relaxed while discovering the best wines and districts of Portugal. Very informative tour. What a brilliant fella he is. And you can hang out in his company at the wine school at the World of Wines in Porto, which I was reminded, it's been open for 4 years. They opened their doors in, I think it was April of 2020. What a time to open anything. And it's been incredibly successful. They have a cork museum. They have a chocolate. What would it be? Not an exhibition, but actually they create chocolate there. I think he said from bean to bar. So wine, chocolate. There's a Michelin-starred restaurant there. Wonderful places to stay. 6 separate visitor centers. A wonderful place to visit. And you get to meet the amazing Diego Ventura as well, who heads up the wine school there. And you learn, it's Wine Demystified, I think was the name of the tour that he was talking about last night, among many others, no doubt, that he offers and his team offers up there as well. So great evening, well worth watching that. And that's already up on the Expats Portugal YouTube channel, the conversation. There was certainly the first part of the conversation that I had with him last night. So that was great. So where was I going with that? Yeah. And then on the Dream Team session, I did ask Daniel Reis if he was going to be at the triathlon. He's an Ironman triathlete. And a few of us, I suggested that a few of us might do that as Team Expats Portugal for a triathlon. However, there was an intervention. And apparently Yoda said, there is no such thing as a triathlete. You either do athlete or you don't athlete. There is no triathlete. So we're off the hook, everybody. Fantastic. I'm seeing that I've got some lovely events from Bairrandi as well. Obviously, he lives in Bairrada district, which is very close to Aveiro, where the worst of the fires were. And so that's service is limited up there, as you would expect and understand. However, the show must go on as well. And there are a few things to go to as well. So we'll bring those to you later on. Other conversational strands this morning. Oh, you'll have seen in the opening sequence, this week's opening sequence. Have you noticed it changes every week now? And we have a Portuguese treat of the week, which this week is the Portuguese or the Azorian pineapple. And we're going to talk more about Azorian pineapples. We are also going to be talking about Porto Alegre. And understandably, of course, we've had... things have been overshadowed this week by the wildfire situation. So we're regrouping and we'll retrace our steps and we will find out more about Porto Alegre this morning, as well as the Azorian pineapple. The car of the week is the Peugeot 3008. Anybody got one of those? What do you think of it? And I will be editing later a video of the vehicle that we use, that Colin and I used to drive to Viseu last Saturday. To visit Hugh and Jane at Quinta dos Três Rios, where a film was being made as well by the amazing Austin brothers. And in the Portugal Resident, my column this week is about Hugh and Jane and my great admiration for them, actually, and what they've done in their quinta there, which was built originally by a British textile fellow who made friends with the local Portuguese and built a factory there and built an amazing Georgian home, which you can stay at with Jane and Hugh. That was superb. That weekend, and delighted to write about it, and delighted to be traveling in a Lexus provided by Caetano in Coimbra. So a video of that car coming. That might be. They need to see the video before they'll let me use it. They told us. So I'll be doing a bit of editing on that. I was hanging out the back of Hugh's vehicle as I filmed Colin going down the tracks and the vineyard tracks at Mesa de Lemos, the Quinta de Lemos, where they make the most amazing textiles still up there in that part of the country. And they've also got a fabulous restaurant there as well. So we were driving around there. That was a lot of fun. So hopefully there'll be a Lexus video, and that might be our car of the week next week. But I've got to get approval from the PR department to make sure we're not larking about with their car, I guess. And so it is shown with the due respect it deserves. Fabulous vehicle. Colin absolutely loved it, the Lexus. A challenge to BMWs and Mercedes, he told me. So, okay, we're visiting Porto Alegre. We're going to be talking about pineapples, how to slice a pineapple. Do you know how to do that? Other conversational threads this morning as we regroup after a crazy week. What about this then? The one item every junk drawer must have to be a real junk drawer. The thing that came to my mind immediately was an unusable... what's the word when you no longer an obsolete phone charging cable, a few golf tees, some rubber bands, maybe a ball of string. Every home has a junk drawer, does it not? Try as hard as you will to not have one. One kind of grows like a fungus, does it not? And generally in the kitchen. So what's the one item that should be in every junk drawer? That's a true radio breakfast show sort of question, isn't it? I won't be asking you what sort of sweets you ate as a kid as well. That's the go-to, isn't it, for a lot of radio shows? This one, what should every real junk drawer have in it to be truly earning that title of a real junk drawer, the one item? And this also came onto my radar, talking about storing junk. People do find themselves in this situation, don't they? Old man with Zimmer frame, looking at a stuffed garage, saying to his son, who doesn't look entirely happy about it, "One day, son, all this will be yours." I remember clearing out my dad's garage. I think I still got some of the bits, but my goodness, what a lot of rubbish was in there. Rusty old bowling balls, the French type, not the American type. Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff in there that he obviously didn't want himself, because it wouldn't have been left out there like this in this illustration of a full-up garage. Oh, that's actually a storage unit. I mean, people pay to keep stuff they don't want or need. So do you find yourself in that condition? And the opening meme this morning, this was a good one. John Rooney was quick onto this. He put this on his own timeline. If you want a bit of fun this weekend, why not put on your timeline, what does TBH and IDK mean? And then when somebody answers, to be honest, I don't know, you can answer, then why did you comment? Hours of fun if you've got nothing better to do this weekend. Okay, let's see who's here this morning. Coach Turner might drop in. Phil Cooklin not joining us in person, but has sent a meme along the Get Ready for Portugal lines and theme. I was hoping to speak to Claudio Martins from your home. We'll get an update from Herdad de Mayo soon enough as well. I think things are calming down a bit, aren't they, after a very busy summer for a lot of people, and obviously this crazy week that we've just had. I think it's going to get a bit more intimate, isn't it, and quiet. Amazing evening. When I took the dogs out last night, there was the most amazing peacefulness and light in the streets. If you're a friend on Facebook, you'll have seen some of the photographs I took, but there was a moment where myself and the dogs sat, and I was having a look at my phone from time to time, but I was struck by how peaceful it was, and we all just stood there, the three of us, just savoring the silence. That's the coach. The coach will be with us in just a moment. I think you're tuning in, reporting in from a service station on Britain's M4 motorway, quite possibly. Probably just spent, I don't know, 27 quid on a plastic sandwich and a cup of coffee somewhere along that journey there. In fact, are you ready now, Coach? We'll bring you on now and we'll come back and say hello to everybody in just a moment, because I know you've got a busy schedule. Let's give him a nice big round of applause. Hola, buen dia.
Bon dia.
Nice jacket. That's a very nice autumnal brown you're sporting there.
Well, it's a bit cooler this morning, and overcast, and
And where are you?
Well, at the moment we're still in Hertfordshire.
Oh, okay.
But because Mrs. T had organised to meet up with a mate for coffee before we leave. And to be fair, it means we missed the worst of the rush hour. So
right, but you're sat outside, are you? Oh, you're talking to me?
I just sat in the car. It's quieter than sitting outside in the street with the cars going past. So.
Yes, and I notice above you've got the airbag sticker. Now, I know we need to have these for safety's sake, but I was just mentioning the Lexus that Colin and I drove last weekend. Every car, you might try and make a nice video of the interior of a car, and every car these days is blighted by such a sticker, isn't it?
Yeah, they all have them. I don't know why it's on that side. Oh, it's on the other side as well.
It's everywhere.
Yeah,
it's under
they're everywhere.
It's underneath your seat if you have a look as well. Right, so how are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Yeah,
good.
Disgracefully well, really. Shouldn't be allowed.
That's the way it should be. Rude health.
Yeah,
and
thank you. We were up in town with some friends last night, and notably growing old disgracefully rather than doing any of this exercise thing.
Very good. Very well. We can catch up now, can't we? So you're off to Castle Combe for a bit of racing and a bit.
We're actually heading down to Bristol today to meet up with my cousin and his wife and do a bit of street art touring.
Oh, well, it's the home of Banksy, isn't it, Bristol?
It is. Looking at a bit of Banksy's, and my cousin's very happy because the tour apparently goes past several pubs.
Oh, good. Okay, so a bit more disgraceful.
Bristol is not short of the odd pub or two, is it?
My mum and dad used to have a pub in Bristol, funnily enough. Now you mention it. Yeah, a fine city. Never liked it much as a kid, but as I went back there as an adult, fun times to be had in Bristol. So have a great time.
It's a great place. I think, for anybody who wants a lively but small enough city to live in, I think Bristol is one of those. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, you can walk about the city centre, can't you? It's not a massive city centre, and there are various parts where you can be really raucous or somewhat refined up in Clifton. I imagine you'll be popping to Clifton as well.
Oh, I doubt it. We're going to put
in the raucous bit.
Car in the car park, and we're walking everywhere. Clifton's a bit further.
Oh, okay. You can walk up the hill there, up Park. Is it Park Lane, I think, or Park Hill? Very nice, up to the museum there. We'll have a great time in Bristol, and best regards to Banksy. Not that you'll be able to bump into or shake hands with Banksy, of course, with the anonymous nature of his or her operation. This week, it was a great idea from the OLP, I thought, Ian, to have a little bit of a pre-Portugal training program. And you rose to the occasion, and I think a lot of the work needs to be on.
Who doesn't like rising to the occasion?
First thing in the morning. Well done. It was all about the ankles, wasn't it, and the walking, which is what we focused on during the week.
Yeah, well, if people are anything like us, when we go away, we tend to do a lot more walking. Whether it's walking around a city. And of course, in Lisbon, that's a challenge. But anywhere, we're off to Madeira in November, and I know we're going to be doing 15 or 20,000 steps a day there.
Nice.
And that's not flat either.
No, it's not. Is it? You walk through all those little waterways, don't you? So you've got added challenges there.
Yeah. They're the easy ones because they're relatively flat.
Oh, okay.
But just walking along the roads and up the hill, Funchal is a really hilly place.
Is it? And but you can catch one of those crates, can't you, where the gents in hats and white
coming back down
push you about. Yeah,
we did see them last time we were there, but we didn't partake.
A Madeiran taxi is a wooden crate, effectively, isn't it, with upholstery? I think.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a bit like a sleigh, isn't it?
It is. That's right. Pulled by men. Pull. Yeah. Man pulled sleigh. Right.
And gravity.
Yes, and a bit of gravity as well, and a few sparks, I think, on the ironwork underneath it. Right. So
walking, coming back to the walking.
Yeah, we got mindful. We got mindful with it, didn't we? We were thinking about walking rather than just doing it.
Yeah. Well, as I said the other day, I think we learn how to walk when we're toddlers, and no one actually teaches us. We just sort of do it. But you can, like all these things, you can improve if you know what you've got to do and are mindful about it. You actually spend a bit of time thinking about your movement, and that will help you walk a little more efficiently and basically be better for all your muscles because you're using the right ones rather than the wrong ones.
Yes.
So just that whole, if you're on the level, landing on your heel, which you do anyway, but then rolling your foot and pushing off with your forefoot, and that then gives you your impetus for your next step, rather than using all the your glutes and big muscles up the top, which are quite inefficient. Powerful, but inefficient.
And you've talked about this with running as well, haven't you? About if you don't go onto the forefoot, you're actually like, it's almost like gas and brake, isn't it? You're trying to walk forward, but your heel acts like a brake, and then you lean forward again, and then you put your heel in. That's a really inefficient way of running and walking, isn't it?
It is. Well, walking, you kind of have to land on your heel because your leg's basically straight. But by the time the heel lands, your foot's moving backwards, so that moves you forwards. But, you can improve it by pushing off, and to a certain extent, the same applies to running. But what you don't want to do with running is have your heel land ahead, because it will land ahead of you. So that immediately puts a rearwards force on, which isn't too good if you want to run forwards.
No, and after years and years of that, you are that has an effect, doesn't it, on the musculoskeletal system? Of course.
Well, this is where I get into moaning about shoes. Oh, okay. Trainers particularly, and they build up these huge things on the heels, which look, the kids love them, but I think they look awful. But that's
you're happy with your green flash.
Yeah, happy with the green flash. They're there to cushion your heel, but you shouldn't be landing on your heel. So you should be landing almost with a flat foot under your so it's under your hip.
Yes.
So that doesn't put any rearwards force on. So you then can push forwards, and that's a much more efficient way of running. And as you say, if you land on your heel, especially with a straightish leg, that puts a lot of impact all the way up your leg into your hip
and your knees
and into your lower back.
Yep.
And it's not good because it's very repetitive, of course.
Yes. Yeah. So that was one of the suggestions, serving suggestions, God Squad tips of the week. It's actually something we do unconsciously, literally unconsciously, right? We just walk. We learn how to walk. We taught ourselves pretty much. We had encouragement from those around us, clapping and cheering and whooping when we got up onto our 2 feet, and we've been doing it ever since. And isn't it funny? Like, with something we do every day, or most of us, thank God, can do every day. We don't really think about very much, and in that might be some of the bad habits that we've picked up, and you can reimagine and then redo that and walk more mindfully and think about how you're doing it, and maybe become a bit more efficient, less tired, and kinder to your body. Anything else? Were you?
Well, I was going to say the other thing that I've managed to do. I used to walk like a duck, with my toes pointing outwards.
Oh, okay.
And I just
makes for a good video.
I know I'd always done it until I started training to run seriously, and sprint rather than just run. And I've gradually managed to bring my sort of feet in line so that they're parallel now when I walk and when I run.
How long did that take, Ian?
I'm guessing 2 or 3 years, probably. I didn't do it consciously. It just sort of happened. So and this was probably in my 40s. So it's not something that you can't do later in life. Because if you think about it, if you walk like a duck, that puts all sorts of odd strains on your knees and your hips. It's always better to walk in a straight line with parallel feet.
Yes.
And you can we've certainly done that with some of our kids we've trained, is to teach them to walk and run either side of a straight line, and we've got a few of those on a track. So it's just something you can do later in life.
Relearn.
It's relearn. It's the same as walking. It's relearning it, but being mindful about it and understanding that that's what you should be doing.
Yes, yeah, like so many
So,
things in life.
so
Yeah, sort of. Well, I guess not reverse engineer it, but yeah, the mindful examination of the things we do unconsciously, I think, can be very valuable. And we're
yeah.
talking about pre-Portugal training, of course. Anything else? It sounds like you've got some great experience yourself of going to places and seeing what you're up against. So walking certainly, and learning to deal with hilly terrain. You're going to have to deal with that when you come to Portugal, aren't you, in some way or other? What about the
Totally.
nutrition side? And when you're walking 20,000 steps a day, and are you eating 3 meals a day as well, making the most of all the lovely Portuguese food and drink?
We tend not to eat breakfast.
Okay,
Mrs. T and I.
Yeah,
but when we're in Portugal or Madeira, we certainly will have a nutter with our coffee in the morning.
very good.
And then we'll have a light lunch and dinner. Tend to have dinner.
Right. Okay.
But you're right. I remember one day in Madeira last year, I got very out of energy, really. I needed to actually grab some food because I think we'd done something like 26,000 steps.
Yeah,
I was flagging.
Yeah, that's no small achievement. So be aware of that, because you don't want to upset your holiday. Colin was telling me, when you get stuck in a car with Colin, he tends to bring up his dehydration stories as well. So be careful with that. You might be coming to a country that's a lot hotter than you're used to, so make sure you hydrate as well. That's part of the program, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little and often.
Yeah,
I mean, when I'm training and I'm doing reps, I tend to have a sip of water between each rep.
Oh, okay.
Just to keep, because when you get thirsty, it's too late.
Yes,
you need to actually not too much, but you need to keep up the levels of hydration. But just there you go.
It's funny, every time water's mentioned, people reach for it, don't they? And you realise you forget and you're not doing it. Yeah,
you do. Just one last thing, which was my point, my tip today. Don't overdo it.
Right.
If you've done you've been doing 10, 15, 20,000 steps a day for 3 or 4 days, you probably need a day off.
That's a great call. Yes, absolutely. And you could plan and look forward to that as part of your trip as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Plan to go and do something very different.
A rest day. So don't forget that. And how many? I mean, what, one rest day for every 7, or more regular than that?
Well, personally, I'd probably take 2.
Sabbath plus 1. Okay.
Sabbath plus 1. I don't push yourself too much. The whole idea of the God Squad is to enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
Not overdo it. It's great. Walking is fantastic, but enjoy yourselves too.
Yeah.
So, I think a couple of days. Top athletes, the top guys that I've been involved with, they'll only have 1 day off a week, and they'll probably be doing at least 2 sessions a day.
Yes.
So they'll be doing a track session and then a gym session. So they work bloody hard during the week. So they need a day off just to let their muscles recover, really.
Yeah.
As much as anything.
Well, remember that and look forward to it. Plan it in. Yeah. Good call.
Yeah, plan it in. So three things to look out for that I put in the note this morning. If your muscles are still sore after 3 or 4 days, stop.
Okay.
Because you've overdone it. Likewise, if you've got joint pain, if you're beginning to feel pain in your knees or your ankles or your hips, stop. Let them rest. Let them to recover.
Yeah.
And if you feel just generally fatigued, really tired, again,
listen to your body.
Yeah. Listen to your body.
Yeah.
It tells you.
It does, doesn't it?
Don't just take ibuprofen. That's not.
It's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes your hearing gets worse as you get older. But very good. Take that. But one of the voices we can hear loud and clear is our body talking to us. However deaf we become. Yes.
Absolutely.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Ian.
Cool.
Just a couple of comments that you've inspired here. We watched the elite marathon runners from Africa very close up, says Michael. Good morning to you, Michael and Kat. The ladies' heels never touched down. They looked like they were floating above the road. No, so we could aspire to that, couldn't we? Be as grateful as that.
That is when you can tell it's a really good runner. They appear to float almost. Even doing cross country, you see them going across a muddy field and you think they're going to be knee deep in it. They seem to float across the surface. And of course, those African girls, they're about 4'7" tall. Weigh about 25 kilos.
So they actually are floating probably, aren't they?
There's nothing of them. It's remarkable. You actually see them up close. They're tiny.
Right.
And yet they flow along.
Like hummingbirds.
You try running even 100 meters at the pace that they run.
Yeah.
They're astonishing.
Yes,
sounds both amazing. Men and women. It's scary. I can only just do 100 meters in the time it takes them.
Yeah.
And amazing. You think, I'm sprinting and giving it everything.
Yes, yeah.
And then I'm dead.
Then you need a rest. I like ducks, but I prefer to walk like an Egyptian. That's not a bad little way to break into a bit of Egyptian fartlek every 100 meters or so. And my father taught me to turn my toes back straight from duck walking simply by kicking my toes inward as we walk. It peed me off, but now I walk with toes straight forward, hearing your father's voice in your head. Fantastic, Coach. Have a great time. Enjoy the M4. Pete has memories of being stuck on the M4. It probably isn't like that anymore. I'm plain sailing to you, and a bon fin semana, and love to Banksy.
Obrigado.
All right, mate. Love to
see you. Ciao.
Ciao. See you. There he goes. Coach Turner right there. And I wanted to share with you Porto Alegre. Thanks, Coach. And the God's Good tip of the day for today is in the chat. Then we'll come back to all your comments before the show's out today. Thanks for being here this morning. Much appreciated. As we regroup after a somewhat challenging I think, Darren, yes, between each set rather than rep. But who knows? Maybe Coach does have a sip after each rep when he's training. Yeah, a very challenging and difficult week here in Portugal. Let's regroup. My mic is on echo, is it? I'm not sure what's doing that. Is that while Coach was on, or is it still happening right now? Anyway, I'll give you a break from the echo, and I need to take a little care in setting this up. It's our first of 2 trips to Porto Alegre this morning. Thank you very much to Manuel Ferreira, who suggested that we take on, or we have a look at. He didn't put it forward actually as a Portuguese point of interest, but he did suggest Porto Alegre, and I thought, okay, that will make a great Portuguese point of interest. So the first one here, the first visit is I mean, both of these are touristic videos, but they give you a great idea of a place we don't talk about very much, and not many people know. I think you've heard of Porto Alegre, not least because I confused it long ago, and Philomena still laughs about it. I confused it with Montalegre, where obviously the 13th. Last week we spoke to Philomena about the Friday the 13th witchy celebration that happens. My error. So Pete was probably watching twice on 2 different tabs. Okay, thanks for that. Philomena was telling us about the Friday the 13th. Every Friday the 13th, they have a party in Montalegre. But here in Porto Alegre, things are a little quieter. This is a beautiful, beautiful part of the country, in the Alentejo, of course. So let's go to our first of our visits with grateful thanks to Manuel Ferreira, who I've invited to the Portugal Club as well. We want more Portuguese friends over at the Portugal Club, and I hope he'll join us over there as well as a font of wisdom, as he's been on this occasion. So here you go. I think you should be able to see, there we go, the full screen video. Let's have a look at it now.
Porto Alegre. Situated between plains and mountains in the heart of the Serra de São Mamed Natural Park, the county of Porto Alegre, capital of the Alentejo, holds a privileged position which allows for enjoyment of its vast landscape and gastronomic and cultural richness. Woo! The natural diversity of the region, associated with the high quality of the environment, is an excellent reason for the development of walking trails and activities connected to leisure tourism and nature. The region's strong industrial tradition was notably developed further in the 18th century under the initiative of the Marquis of Pombal, with the creation of the wool factory, Fábrica Real de Beneficios, which is today the home of the town council, Câmara Municipal. The eradication of religious orders rapidly determined the degradation of the convents and their consequent conversion to other purposes. In the 19th century, the convent wings were altered and extended to include the installation of a plant linked to the cork industry, the Robinson factory, the oldest and one of the largest cork processing factories in the world.
Those Brits again.
The manufacturing of tapestries emerged in 1947, which, due to the originality and artistic value of the work, rapidly became a symbol for the city, and it is possible to view some of them in the Guy Fino Museum of Tapestry in Porto Alegre.
Nice.
According to the annual Internal Security Report, Porto Alegre is the region with the lowest crime rate in Portugal.
Come on!
In terms of education, Porto Alegre is equipped with support facilities to families, nurseries, public, professional and higher education schools. Through its schools, the Polytechnic Institute of Porto Alegre provides a wide range of bachelor, master's and postgraduate degree courses, as well as higher education technical courses for professional training. In addition, there are also study opportunities offered by the Institute for Employment and Vocational Training and the Porto Alegre Hospitality and Tourism School. Considering the rise of new markets and opportunities, the Council has committed to strengthening existing infrastructures in the Porto Alegre Industrial Park, therefore enhancing its position in both regional and national contexts, and subsequently its integration into the European and transcontinental markets. As complementary agro-industries, the agricultural, forestry and livestock sectors are key to the county's economy, in which the wine, olive oil, milk, cheese and traditional sausage industries stand out.
Who doesn't
They
like
are
a
products
traditional
of excellence,
sausage?
and most of them are certified with seals of quality and protected geographical area.
Ding, 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 ding. This music's great.
The tourism sector has grown over recent years and is one of the region's paths to success and a dynamic economy. Currently, not only are the valuable Porto Alegre tapestries with their museum and manufacturing, the diverse monuments such as the castle, cathedral and historic village of Alegret examples of material heritage, but also the immaterial, such as gastronomy and the knowledge and modes of life of the rural world.
Oh yeah.
Porto Alegre awaits you.
Superb! Very good, Porto Alegre. Thank you, Manuel, for that. We will have another visit to Porto Alegre. Hold on a minute. No, no, not that one. Okay, we'll come back for more Porto Alegre because the Portuguese treat of the week was the Azorian pineapple. Before we go there, let's have a look at some of your comments that have been coming in. I think about coaches. Get ready for Portugal training as well. Some comments coming in about that. Nubinet, good morning to you. Walking, you say, now involves my hips more than my knees. Now going downstairs, I have control and no pain. Okay, did you get some help from a physiotherapist on that? Or did you reteach yourself? People don't know how to move efficiently. It's true, isn't it? A meniscus doesn't heal. Oh, so you have to strengthen everything involved in movement. As I trained, so you had some proper training on this. As I trained, I had increased power and improved balance. And wouldn't it have been amazing to learn more about that as a youngster? Because we do all this sort of PE, don't we, as kids? But I don't think many people are trained, unless possibly they're ballet dancers or athletes, how to just move more efficiently and effectively and gracefully, I suppose, as well. Thank you very much for your input. Owen, I haven't said good morning to you or to Mike. Owen, enjoying my posted up the Sergio Mendes, and I think it's Brazil 66 at the time, wasn't it? Of Maskenada there, one of the great enduring tunes, of course, of Sergio Mendes there. And what a fantastic way to start the day. So I think that's a bit of a, not just an earworm. With the sounds of Herb Albert and I Have the Rain, it's a happy Friday for me. Yeah, the blessed rain's coming down. Not any here on the Silver Coast yet. But yeah, Maskenada, what a great way to start the weekend. Absolutely superb tune. And some of the first Portuguese I ever spoke by singing along without even realizing it. Mike and Karen leaving for Chicago tomorrow. So it'll be a quick check-in as we're getting ready for our trip. Have a great weekend. A bon fils de semana, everybody. Thank you. Oh, and something that should be in the junk drawer, a Tupperware lid that doesn't fit anything. I guess we could put a few odd socks in there as well. They never turn up, do they? Or if you do find the Tupperware base for the lid, you've thrown away the lid the day before, have you not? I think. Why does it work like that? Right. Okay. Let's have a look at Azorian pineapples now, and a lovely little site called the Azor. I think called the Azorian pineapple. This is a place that produces them anyway. And I've learned a lot just by the other day walking into, the conversation about pineapple started because of the Mercadona dating thing. Oh, and talking of Mercadona, we've also got a new gas or petrol Mercadona. Apparently, not that one, this one. There's a new, thanks Anna Todd for your contributions, as well as Zay Mario over there on GMP TV, our Facebook group. Anna Todd's doing a great job as well. Low-cost Spanish chain opens the first of 50 petrol stations in Portugal called Petropris. Petropris. I don't know how you would correctly pronounce that, but cheap petrol, cheap gas coming. It's the Mercadona of the gas forecourt, I suppose, over there. So thanks, Anna, for letting us know about that. Watch out for that. Are they opening those near the Spanish border? I'm not sure. Has anyone been to one of those just yet? But yeah, let's go have a look at Azorian pineapples now. And I didn't look at the price. And I think it was about 10 euros, this Azorian pineapple. But to be fair, it was golden and it was delicious. And if you go to the Portugalia marketplace, which sends stuff all over the world, it will cost you 22 euros and 70 cents plus postage, I suspect, as well, for one of these. And it's got the official label on it, which I've kept from mine, which in my mind's nose, I'm still smelling the really heady aroma of the Azorian pineapple. You can just really smell the sweetness. But 22 euros from Portugalia. If you really want one of those, or you want to send one to somebody, that would be quite a good way, wouldn't it? It's a modern love letter. If you ask them to pack it upside down and somebody opens that, they may get a sense of your intention. So the Azorian pineapple then, thanks to Sola Branco. Is this something to do with you, Pete? This is the Sola Branco website and their page, the Azorian pineapple, grown in greenhouses on the island of San Miguel. This type of pineapple is unique to the island of San Miguel but in fact originated in Central and South America. It was introduced to the island as an ornament plant by Portuguese navigators in the 18th century. Isn't that amazing? So it became a bonus that you could eat the blooming thing, and delicious it was too. As the citrus trade with the UK declined in the 1860s, what happened there then? Maybe scurvy disappeared, and so the citrus trade slowed up a bit in the UK. The pineapples became a replacement crop that could be traded, highly prized in Victorian England. You must come over and try one of these amazing pineapples that I've got from my Portuguese port dealer, where such plants could not be grown. Sales expanded throughout Europe, enjoyed by the royal courts as a culinary highlight. In 1864, the first industrial-scale greenhouse was built to facilitate this trade. Humans are amazing, aren't they? Due to the climate in the Azores, the greenhouses were built to create the year-round humidity that's needed for the fruit. During the golden age of exports, there were over 3,000 greenhouses producing 2,000 tons of pineapples. These plants are fascinating and unique to the Azores. Cultivation can take up to 3 years, and that's why I think there's such a premium on them. And they are much sweeter in taste. My mouth is watering thinking about it, with less acidity than their counterparts around the world. A number of greenhouses and plantations can still be found on the island of San Miguel, mostly on the sunnier south side of the island. Pineapple plants in NASA-backed tests have been shown to reduce snoring. What? So I didn't know NASA did research into snoring. Maybe it's to stop the astronauts keeping each other awake at night. So if you've got a snoring problem, among many other urban myths about pineapples, if you know, you know, shown to reduce snoring due to the particulates that they take in at night. Really? And also smoke. This is what Philomena was saying when we talked about them last week. Smoke is used in the growing process of the pineapples, discovered by accident in the early 20th century when a heating pipe broke. This is a fantastic happy accident. When a heating pipe broke underneath one of the greenhouses, releasing smoke. The farmer thought the crop was ruined and was happily surprised weeks later when the pineapples appeared at the same time. This is beneficial to the farmers as it means a crop can be bought or sold and bought at the same time in enough numbers to be able to make a small profit. So I thought Philomena was talking about smoked pineapple as a kind of treat. But no, smoke is used to make them flower all at the or to fruit at the same time. So there you go. Thanks to Sola Branco. Best place to purchase the fruits when you're in the Azores is at the farmers market at Santana on a Thursday morning. Guests of the estate at Sola Branco can join Ali and Una for a complimentary tour if you book at solabranco.com. If you wish to look around a pineapple farm as part of a private tour, speak to us on the estate or email us, and we'll happily send you further details. So all about the pineapples there in the Azores. Absolutely juicy and delicious there. And also, when we're talking about pineapples, it's quite important, is it not, to learn how to cut them properly. Now, Antonio, you had a tip for us with the pineapple. Here's a pineapple tip. When buying one, pull one of the top leaves. If it comes off easily, it's good to eat. If not, it's still green. Excellent advice there. So let's have a look then as well at how to cut one of these. And we're going to a nice young lady who runs, what's she called? The Mediterranean Chef. Let me bring it onto the screen for you. You might be a visitor to this site already. How to cut a pineapple. The Mediterranean Dish. I was going to say she calls herself. I don't think she calls herself that, although dishy she is. There she is. That's Susie, the internet's #1 website for modern Mediterranean recipes and lifestyle. I'm Susie, a cookbook author and a creator. So born in the Mediterranean cosmopolitan city of Port Said, Egypt. So there you go. Learn how to cut a pineapple the easy way. I'll walk you through how to cut a pineapple in this step-by-step guide, including this challenges my idea of cutting a pineapple, I have to say. I watched my mother cut pineapples, and I think that's what I've been copying all this time. This lady does it slightly differently. I like to rub a bit of salt on, and I do like to get rid of the little spikes inside the pineapple, which are not very nice to chew on, are they? They can sort of stick in your tongue. I don't think this lady bothers so much about those. Anyway, here she is with her guide to cutting a pineapple, and I'm drooling already. You see those little spikes there? You don't want those, do you? And there's a way of cutting or scoring the outside of the pineapple to get rid of those, which is what I learned from my mother. But this is eschewed. That technique is eschewed here. And she talks about how she goes in and she has to pay $8 for a pineapple. So how to cut it step by step then. Trim the pineapple. Use a sharp knife to slice off the top and bottom of the pineapple. And as usual with these things, wherever you look, everyone's giving you a different way of doing it. Some people are suggesting you slice vertically, not horizontally, to make it juicier. I think there's probably some truth in that. But if you slice it in this way, as you can see on the picture on the screen, and then take out the core, because you could probably do something. You might be able to cook with that to give a bit of juiciness, maybe to a pork dish, a pork loin with some of those pineapple cores, maybe to give a little bit of sweetness and juiciness, which is a Mediterranean touch to a lombo de porco. So take out the spine there, and you'll end up with quarters like this, with a four-sided shape, a strange, like an eccentric shape there. Slice each quarter down the middle then after that, and then cut crosswise to make small pieces, again, leaving the skin intact. And this is a great way to cut a mango, of course. My oldest, has been cutting mangoes in this way. Don't take the skin off first. Leave the skin on and use it as a way of kind of filleting the pineapple. So ultimately, you are cutting against the skin and lifting the little chunks, the pineapple steak off the skin there. And how to tell if it's ripe. I think that's going back to Antonio's advice there. It'll be golden, not green if it's ripe. It typically has a golden or yellowish brown skin. Green is a red flag that it was picked too early and may not ripen, of course. Smells good. Smell the bottom end of the fruit. If it smells sweet, it's tropical, just like people. That's a green light. If it smells sour or has no smell at all, again, like people, keep searching. Ripe pineapples will let you squeeze them a bit without totally giving in. Again, like people, they won't have any soft or mushy spots, unlike people, which means it's overripe. Too stiff, and it's probably underripe. The leaves are green and firm. That's another sign. If the leaves are wilted, dry, or easily pulled out, it's probably past its prime. Okay, so I think there's a sweet spot of pulling the leaf to know that your pineapple is ready there. So be careful when you are manhandling pineapples in the supermarket. It can send out awkward signals to the shoppers around you. Message to come and events to come from by Randy as well this morning. So there you go. That's Azorian pineapples pretty much. And we've got another visit to Porto Alegre today. I think we'll do that now. I think we'll pop to Porto Alegre again and see the second of their promotional videos as recommended by Manuel Ferreira, one of our newer Portuguese friends here on the show. So let's do that now. And then there's a little bit of a procedure for me to go all full screen on this. This is Porto Alegre, beyond Alentejo. This is beautiful. There are some lovely words. It might be good to look at the poetry, basically, that comes onto the screen. Lovely prose here on the screen talking about the Alentejo or Porto Alegre. No, we don't need an EasyJet advert. That one that everybody's seeing at the moment with the girl with the pearl earring, an enduring image. So let's go to full screen, and I'm going to actually subscribe whilst I'm on the Visit Porto Alegre YouTube site. And we'll have a look now at the second of our films from Porto Alegre. Enjoy this, folks. It's absolutely beautiful.
Sim, somos Alentejo. Desse que nos dá o espaço para sabermos quem somos. É este viver devagar, nesta terra intocada e pura, feita de autenticidade serena, que descobrimos que somos mais que uma coisa apenas. Somos um conselho formado por cada linha do nosso caráter, que nos descreve na história, no espaço e na alma. Nos caminhos feitos a passo lento, para que possamos respirar e deixar que este Alentejo mesclado nos tome e nos ensine que a vida pode estar na simplicidade, no sentir o vagar que nos invade e ajuda na aprendizagem do apenas estar, apenas ser. Como se fosse um segredo que se quer revelar. Mas este Alentejo é mais. É feito de muitos caminhos, de horas e lugares, que só são revelados através do que se sente ao vivê-los. Muitas vezes, querem-se descobertos, não se mostram facilmente, e são, afinal, uma só forma de vida. Este é o segredo. Somos arte e artesanato, serra e planície, natureza e gastronomia, de história e inovação. Somos gente e poesia. Alentejo que se mostra e vai mais longe. Entre a serra adentro e tem arte régia em si. Cada linha de descoberta, um sentido. E nesse sentir, uma verdade que nasce dentro de cada um. Uma surpresa que se transforma em razão. Só somos quando sentimos. Só sentimos quando vemos devagar. Não é solidão. É poesia.
Oh my goodness, it's not solitude, it's poetry. The peacefulness that we need to discover ourselves. Isn't that fantastic? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, hold on, let me just that's the thing about YouTube, isn't it? It wants to serve you something else straight away. Wonderful. Thank you, Manuel. Thank you for bringing Porto Alegre to quiet, unassuming Porto Alegre in the Alentejo, bringing that to our attention. We thank you for that. So there you go. That's our Portuguese point of interest. More about that. And if you want to add to that thread and you're a Portugal Club member, pop over there and you can talk about pineapples and the Portuguese place of interest, which is, of course, is Porto Alegre. And our house and car of the week. Got a lovely house of the week, a home of the week, a real estate offer from Antonio Barbosa. That incredible view that you see in the opening sequence up there in the north of Portugal, that's one of Antonio Barbosa's Infinite Solutions homes for sale at the moment. And of course, look, James is there as well. Old Guy in Europe, episode 15 already. Friday again, which means a new episode of An Old Guy in Europe. And that's the first trip to Ireland that's being featured there. Or is it 16 today? Oh, no, it is episode 15 today. Wonderful. Okay, let's have a look now at Bairandi's offerings. Limited, of course, because of what's gone on in the country up there in the Aveiro district. But this going ahead, the Aveiro Feira das Velharias, fourth Sunday of every month, that will be going on around the canals of Aveiro. If you want to get some old antiques and bric-a-brac, and that's have a rummage. Who doesn't like a rummage? First thing on a Saturday morning. Box kart, go-kart racing on Oliveira de Bairro. Date change. That's not happening this weekend, but in case you were going to that, is now the 5th of October. Popping to the Algarve quickly, 27th to 29th in Albufeira is a Festival do Piripiri. The girl with the not the girl with the pearl earring or necklace tuned. Nice to see you this morning there. But the girl with the lettuce skirt, very interesting bit of graphic design there. Something you might like to go to if you like it hot. There's the Mega Zumba that's happening in Oliveira de Bairro as well. That's also postponed until the 4th of October. Andy will be there. He turns up at these Zumba events for some reason, invariably. So they get a little smattering of Bairrada events, including a free walk or run at the Alfusquero River Beach in Agada. That has been cancelled. Sorry, no, you can't go to that. That's just to let you know it has been cancelled. That was going to be happening, but because of the wildfires, you can't be walking about in a nature walk up there at the moment. So hopefully that will be rescheduled, possibly in October, like those other events shared there. So a lot of rescheduling. If you were heading to the Bairrada or the Aveiro district, better think again on that and delay your visit. They've got their hands full with things going on, recovering from the aftermath of the wildfires up there. Message from Phil. We couldn't bring him on to the screen. Congratulations, Phil, by the way. First grandchild born, not able to join us this morning in his usual monthly slot. But however, he does send his own little tip for training, pre-Portugal training here. Embrace every interaction with bureaucracy as an adventure and a chance to meet new people. Excellent. Nice reframe there, Phil. Thank you very much for that. And your last few comments then as we make our way into the weekend for a bon fin semana. Pete with the greetings here. Lots of talk about pineapples and necklaces, it would appear. I'm going to scroll back because I don't want to miss any of these. Yeah, I had 4 months, says Nubia Net, of physical therapy and daily exercises to do. Just a little every day, reteaches and strengthens muscles. Excellent. But there's a very good instruction video on YouTube as well. That's wonderful. Isn't YouTube fantastic? It's like the moving Wikipedia. And I think we'll see more and more of that. Ananash, abacage. Ananash, I think, is the preferred word. Ananash. Abacage, I think, is the Brazilian Portuguese word. Pete, also with memories of mother here. I always remember my mum buying pineapples for my brother, who secretly hated them for 30 years. He never did confess to her. Oh, poor bloke. Probably needs a bit of counselling. Book him in with James. Where exactly do you insert the pineapple to reduce snoring? Very good, Peter. And my experience so far, says James, is that nobody knows. So many explanations, I can't even remember them all. What is that for? Is that about walking, cutting pineapples? I'm not sure what that refers to. And Squire Shires likes pineapple as well. Abacage sal deliciosos as well. Good to see you, Dave, a.k.a. tuned but unstable. Blunt knives work much better. Is that for cutting a... That's interesting, isn't it? Sometimes like a stopped clock, even a broken clock is right twice a day. A blunt knife can work occasionally as well, perhaps in this case with a pineapple. And Pete saying that is the most complicated way to cut. Thank you, Peter. We look forward to seeing your video on Solar Life Portugal YouTube channel, the easiest and best way to cut a pineapple. I like eating the core. It's chewy, sweet, and juicy, and it's a great source of fiber. Keeps him regular. I mean, he's regular, isn't he, with his videos on a Friday? Sounds like he's regular in other departments as well, chewing on the fibrous core of a pineapple. It's about turning one upside down, is it not? Oh, that's for dating and not cutting. Yes, but I just think if anyone's thinking about buying a pineapple now, that must flash through their mind, and other shoppers must look at them and think, there's a pineapple in that guy's shopping trolley. I wonder. My ice cream slushy maker doesn't half make a great Mr. Whippy soft pina colada, our drink of the summer. Nice little serving suggestion there. And yeah, love the pie. I thought you might like that. We're drawn, are we not, James, to the Alentejo with that video there? I thought it was absolutely wonderful. That crispy skirt wilts pretty quickly in the sun and heat, so not recommending the lettuce skirt. A fashion icon, James. It's not a cowboy hat. At last, it is a cloudy morning today, and it looks like the rain that we so much need over there in Castelo Branco as well. Excellent. And pina colada, pearl necklace optional there. You're so naughty. And hit that like button, finally, as we go into the weekend. Yeah, if you don't mind hitting the like button. We've no idea if it does anything or not, but why not give it a smack anyway? As I was on the bell here. Excellent fun, that, T-Duck. I really got into it, adding extra percussion to those videos. Have a great weekend. It's been a difficult week here in Portugal. I'm glad we've regrouped and checked in with each other. I think all the Gumpers are okay. And if we do get any requests for help, we'll share those and we'll make sure that people do get the help they need in this community. So, yeah, after a sad, challenging and tragic week here in Portugal, I wish you a good weekend. And we will see you again on Monday. The last time now for this week's opening sequence. I'm not sure what the point of interest or the Portuguese treat, the home or the car will be next week, but it will all come together magically before Monday morning when we'll have a new opening sequence for the show. Have a great weekend. Bon fin semana. Ciao, ciao, and bye for now.
There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.